There's a man and the owner of the shop. Apparently, they got some drama going on with Keith Lee. Keith Lee pulled up, got him a plate. What he said, he got the 3 meat or something. We gonna watch it. We gonna watch it, man. Shouts out to Poetic Flacco. This Keith Lee video just ruined their life. Let's see what it hit for.
These influencers are panicking after going from the internet's favorites to the internet most hated. And they're at a risk currently of losing everything they've ever worked for in the last decade after getting in the crosshair of Keith Lee today. There's this older black dude on social media who's been going viral for his food content. His content is pretty much him just pulling, the bone out the ribs and showing how tender the ribs actually are. Hence his nickname is the Tenderism. Well, they actually have an actual restaurant called the Smokehouse Destinations. And Keith Lee came to the Smokehouse Destination to do a food review. The review started off as a pretty normal Keith Lee review, but by the end of the video, Destination Smokehouse was public enemy #1. We'll get back to the video shortly, but I wanted to let you guys know this video is being sponsored by Kalshi. Kalshi is an app where you can make money predicting current events. I put money on what the weather is going to be every day on Kalshi. I check the weather app when I wake up. And really all I do is I look at what the highest temperature is going to be for the day. Then I go on Kalshi and place a prediction on what I think the highest temperature is.
Is that right, good brother?
I'll say probably 7 out of 10 times my weather prediction hits.
Is that right, good brother? Stop the bullshit, man.
Sometimes it doesn't hit. But if you want to get paid by predicting weather on a daily basis, you can do so on Kalshi by clicking the link in my description and downloading the app and using code FLACCO to get $10 on your first deposit.
Me and my family are currently in Marietta, California, and this, in my opinion, is the most anticipated video I've ever done. In my hand is food from Destination Smokehouse, with the Tenderism. My whole mission today to see, in my opinion, is the food actually tenderism, or do I just love watching Tenderism? Let's find out together. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. We spent $129.77.
God damn.
The service, my family said, was very good. This food was quick. It only took us 10 minutes to get it. And Unc is here, but Unc walking around with 4 different security guards, which I fully understand because people probably bombarding him nonstop. So I'm gonna show you the thing I got, and we're gonna try it and rate it 1 through 10. Holiday yams, mac and cheese, coleslaw, 2 orders of Texas toast, 4 sides of barbecue sauce, and a 3-meat plate. I got a beef rib, some oxtail, and some brisket. We gonna start with what I came here for, the beef rib. I didn't touch it, I didn't do nothing. This how it came.
He goes through the food review. He gives them, a pretty great score. The food tastes amazing. But it's the end of the video that's getting a lot of controversy. So at the end of the video, Keith Lee had about $4,000 he wanted to donate to Mr. Tenderism.
$4,000?
This is an older black dude who's been making content online. He's everybody's favorite grandpa online. Keith Lee wanted to give him some money. However, when Keith Lee went to give him some money, something takes place at the restaurant that makes Keith Lee leaves without actually getting the meat or give the $4,000 tip to Mr. Tenderism.
Sweet, cinnamon, a lot of spices and flavors, 8 out of 10. For me, the standout is absolutely the oxtail. But past the oxtail, the standout is Unc. Not only, in my opinion, is it extremely hard to get people engaged like that, to show your true personality, to be yourself, no matter how fast things take off in the space. I don't think he intended for it to go the way it's going. I think he just wants to show his love of food and his love of what it is that he's doing. I'm personally taking $5,000 out of my own bank and be going to say happy holidays to Unc. So, update. We could not get to Unc. Security said it was over with for the day. They said that he was filming something. I believe he was filming a podcast. We had $5,000 in cash, or $4,000 in cash that we was gonna give him a hand. They didn't take it, so we're not only gonna take this money and feed some people, but we just gonna do what we feel like we're supposed to do in the community. And as always, I pray and hope that they continue to reach their target audience. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
The ending of this Keith Lee review sparked several uncomfortable conversations and think pieces. The first think piece was, oh, they too good to meet Keith Lee. Oh, wow, they selfish. They not as nice and wholesome and family-oriented as they are in these videos.
They didn't know who he was.
Which, from my perspective, bruh, dude's filming a podcast. Keith Lee could have waited, or he could have, you feel me? Like, if he really wanted to, he could have waited until the podcast was over. I don't know. But the second thing is, this Keith Lee video kind of exposed something that a lot of people probably already knew, but the masses thought that this, the smokehouse was owned by the older black guy because he's been the mascot. He's been the dude in all the videos, pulling the bone from out the ribs, taste testing it. So people thought this was his restaurant.
Nah,
so hence
he
made them
don't
want
own
to
it.
support him even harder.
Right.
But the Keith Lee video exposed the fact that this restaurant,
So he actually cooked the food though,
was not owned completely by this older black guy. That is actually like a Hispanic restaurant. owned by a Hispanic family. They are white passing, but they're not white per se. So people kind of felt hoodwinked, and that led to think pieces. And then once you couple that with, oh, he couldn't come out the interview to meet Keith Lee, they thought, oh, older dude is being dragged to do these, interviews and these several things for like a business that he don't own. He's being exploited. Conversations about proper compensation began to go viral. And essentially at the end of these discussions, people began to say they don't want to support the restaurant anymore because, well, Keith Lee Exposed is not black owned and how they treated Keith Lee.
Finding out that Tendernism destination was not black owned was not on my bingo card in 2025. Especially people that talk about, well, me, as somebody that talks about generational trauma.
Generational trauma because you think this man got a job is crazy. Yo, black folks like this will talk you out of a good situation, bro. Don't listen to him, man.
And now they ain't gonna support at all. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but not really, though. I mean,
reparations.
He's not directly benefiting from the success that he's bringing that restaurant, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's understandable, but
everybody's saying, I don't see the problem with it. The fact that this man was able to grow a business is exactly what slaves did in this country. We picked cotton, we made the US billions, and then they gave us our freedom.
These people are ridiculous, man. Comparing a 9-to-5 to slavery. First off, you don't even understand the framework of their working relationship. But let's just say he did have a 9-to-5. Don't listen to unemployed people online. They would have you crashing out and making bad life decisions.
How do you know she's unemployed?
This dude, if he is a 9-to-5 employee, was a 9-to-5 employee before he came on the internet. Was a 9-to-5 employee before y'all knew who he was. Was they taking advantage of him when they was paying his salary and paying him to work and giving him a job before he became internet famous? Was it exploitation then? But it's exploitation because
he went viral.
Working for the business and promoting it. I don't feel like this is exploitation at all. I feel like, if he proved his worth, then you come to the table and you ask for equity where it is. But to say, because he's not...
Yeah, I feel as if at this point, like, with the success and attention that has been brought, he deserves a raise at least.
The owner 100%, the owner 100% is not his business 100%. That they are exploiting him is crazy. Where was y'all at when he needed a job? If he could have found a better job than this, he would have had a better job than this before the internet. But the fact that he didn't, these were the people who took care of him before y'all knew who he was. But now y'all found out who he was. Now y'all want to give y'all 3 cents and have him turn on the people who had his back before anyone of you guys knew who he was. Y'all are out of y'all minds. Y'all are literally insane.
And now we're still fighting for reparations in 2025, while every other nationality that has ever been wronged in this country has pretty much received some type of reparation. If this man does not get his own business, I will know that this is set up by design, because I'm not trying to be rude. Other than owning the business permit and being a renter of that building, what does the owner do? I didn't even know there was a different nationality in that building as far as ownership.
So do he actually be cooking the food or no?
Or who could be working on something?
Bro, that man built the business. He invested the money. He probably came up with the menus, the marketing strategy, the layout of the restaurant, bro. It's a lot that goes into just owning the lease and in the business, bro. Like, and paying rent. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
In that building as far as ownership or who could be working on something. So part about giving black people equity back is allowing them to have money and investments in things. And if all that man has is a job, I'm not okay with this at all.
They did an interview with Willie D so they could speak on everything, including whether or not he's an employee or an owner, as well as the Keith Lee situation. And I'll be real, bro. Hearing these people kind of speak on this really made me feel bad for him, bro. Because at the end of the day, man, they just running a business, okay? And if Keith Lee showed up unexpected, if Keith Lee showed up when they wasn't really expecting him, is it like their obligation to treat Keith Lee better than they would treat anybody else? And
And one thing about this internet, bro, niggas can be getting millions of views, bro. That doesn't mean you go somewhere, you pull up to that restaurant. That doesn't mean that they recognize you, they know you, or they've ever seen you before, bro. Just because you're getting millions of views on TikTok, it could be every platform, bro. This is a big world, bro. That doesn't mean that they recognize Keith Lee at that point in time, and it seems like they didn't. You know what I'm saying? Which is unfortunate, but that's how it be sometimes. He pulled up unexpected, and apparently that's what he likes to do. So,
Yo, is it like their obligation to treat Keith Lee better than they would treat anybody else and stop the podcast they've been had scheduled, I would assume, for a while now, and then leave the podcast to go
and what is he supposed to do? Oh, I'm Keith Lee. I'm here. You need to give me attention. No, and he didn't do that.
cater to Keith Lee? No, because they wouldn't do it for anybody else, right? But because of that, they're
That's not
now
necessary.
getting more hate than I think.
Snoop Dogg walking that bitch. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, that's Snoop Dogg here. Okay. Yeah, niggas definitely get that seniority sometimes. You know
Life.
So really solid. We were like 3 weeks out from planning it, and a lot of hiccups happened. We were so late in the day, but when we were doing it, we were just totally locked in. So I found out at the end of it was only 30 minutes too. It was a 30-minute podcast. Mm-hmm. So at the end, our head of security / host, Josh, came over. He's like, "Hey, Nick, man, it's like some guy came, and he was trying to meet Walt to give him a $5,000 tip." I was like, "Oh, that's kind of weird," because we've had like streamers come in, trying to like come in and get weird content. So we love the exposure, but we don't need weird exposure. So he took it, and he didn't know. That was another shocking thing. Me, my friend Walter French, who's off camera, and then one lady who was working that day are the only 3 people in the restaurant who knew who he was. And I was in shock. I didn't even know it was Keith Lee until like 15 minutes after I heard about the tip. So as soon as I got the idea, I started messaging him, and I went out into the parking lot trying to find him. I was hoping he was going to be at our restaurant when we were in Hemet in our original location. I know who he is.
So what did they tell him though? Like, so he brought it to their attention that he has 4,000. They was just like, no, get out of here, and they wasn't fucking with him. Like,
I'm a food guy, and I'm on the internet all the time. I do all our social media, so I'm well aware. And it would have been a great boost to us in Hemet, I figured he just never came because the level that we're at now, he likes to help out businesses that need more exposure, So, but I would have been, if I would have known he was here, I would have probably asked Edie to stop for a few seconds so we could go over there. That's what I would have done.
This dude don't really strike me as like as a colonizer, if that makes sense, right? Like you could smell the colonizer blood in the spirit in somebody, but this ain't no colonizer, bro. Like this is not a dude that I would say is like a mean-spirited human being. Right? Now he a little clout thirsty, right? He a little clout demon, but like he's not a mean-spirited individual from my perspective. But yeah, I don't believe that they should have treated Keith Lee any differently. But if y'all had a podcast going on, stopping the podcast with any means to go ahead and talk to Keith Lee when you already had him there.
I mean, you talking about 4 bands though. 5 bands though. I mean, that's worthy of some attention though. Like, what I'm saying, like, hey man, he talk about that's something a message can be expedited, bro. You know what I'm saying? Can be relayed expeditiously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like hey, that's 4 bands. You probably ain't even. They might make that today. That's probably their daily revenue. If that. Ain't no telling, but
no, that's disrespectful. Finish up your podcast and then go talk to Keith Lee if Keith Lee is still there. But apparently Keith Lee being unwilling to really respond back or link back up with them or have any type of conversations kind of shows that Keith Lee is salty that they couldn't link up with him, and he's still kind of mad at him, which I don't know why, right? If they were filming a podcast, they were filming a podcast. Why are you upset at these people for filming a podcast, right? So they address
because that's that entitlement that they getting them views, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that don't mean nothing, bro.
The fact that now after they got done with Keith Lee, they
don't mean people recognize you or know you or just gonna let you in that motherfucker or whatever, bro.
So they addressed the fact that now after they got done with Keith Lee, they addressed the old man is being taken advantage of narrative. And here's what they had to say. The first person who actually brought it up was actually the old man before anybody asked about it.
And then we talk about this here, because just misunderstand. It's 2026. We gonna clear everything. Now, and back, I want to let y'all know something. I lived too long, somebody taking advantage of me. That part of taking advantage of me, there's a lot of things people can do in life. That's not something we do here at Destination. This is one in the nation.
Yes, sir.
I know just like these two, the same two people on this podcast right now is the same two people know something about Destination. But see, the media just get off and run with the negative stuff, and I tell him all the time, don't be feeding into that negativity, because they ain't not just somebody trying to push, divide and conquer.
People want to know, like, what you're doing so much to help this brand, do Walter have, ownership or equity in a Destination Smokehouse?
It's not his right to have ownership, bro. Things happen unexpectedly. Nobody knew that this was going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like the generous thing that the employer, the owner, could do is recognize that and compensate him, you know what I'm saying, in some type of way, especially seeing a increase influx in sales, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they could break something for him, you know what I'm saying? Now to just take his, now if he got paid, you know what I'm saying, that's part of his job. That's his job to do that, bro. It's no different from working anywhere else, bro. Shit, they may not give you no more money because of how good you perform, nigga. You set at this pay rate and you understood that whenever you did this. You know what I'm saying? So you know.
Ownership or equity in a Destination Smokehouse. Is that something that you can share?
Everybody's business ain't nobody's business. But this is how
ain't nobody's business.
I'm telling you that. It's because it's my business. If whatever, it's Nick's business. That sharing your business, all of this here, we just have Destination One in the nation. We on one kick. I can't get on sharing personal, how much money or this and that.
Yeah.
I'm letting, okay, we cut.
Don't worry about all that, man.
If he's not taking advantage of me, we're going to be here until the end.
And as far as ownership goes, as much as I'll say, because I'm going to respect Walt's privacy, Walt is definitely a part of this business. He is not an employee. I would be safe to say that the finances that we have both been able to increase into our bank account since we've been here has been something great for both of us. But
is that right?
Talking numbers, talking any of that, I just don't think that's professional. I mean, we're not professional athletes who our agents are putting our contracts out there.
From what I gather from that, it looks like, right, they gave the old man some equity in the company. The old man don't look like no dummy either. But what I would say, man, my only advice to the old man, when you start talking to bosses, because I'm sure they probably own more equity than him, so they are still his boss. When you start talking to your bosses like, oh, we in this together until the end, oh, this is forever, this is never ending.
Yeah, you gotta watch that.
That's usually when the exploitation starts. You don't want to have that language, bro.
That's what shit starts ending.
You know what I'm saying? With a boss, right? Especially in the
he said he's not an employee though, so
workplace. Right.
I think Uck don't he be cooking the food, or it's his recipe, or he tell him like.
Understand this, it's never personal. The minute these folks begin to understand that they could save a little more money or make a little more money with you not being in the picture, you'll be out the picture. So understand, I want you to understand that. But for the most part, Dave has been good to you. Dave employed you. You've done well. Now you own equity. Right, like, have loyalty and have principles and integrity, but don't start talking about, oh, this is until the end. It's almost never until the end. It almost always have an expiration date when doing business. Okay, but let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, bro? I don't like how these people are treating these people, bro, just because they didn't stop everything they're doing to cater to Keith Lee. Now, I don't like that, bro. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think, man? And if you're still watching this video and want to watch another.
Hey, man, shouts out to Keith Lee for, offering the 4 bands. Apparently, he gave it to the community or whatever. He gave back. Hey, that's a generous amount of money, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's up, It's unfortunate that Unc didn't get to receive it, but things happen. It just is what it is at that point. Keith Lee carried on with his day. Uh, they were both busy. You know what I'm saying? Unc and them was busy. Keith Lee was busy. He ain't got all day to just sit around and wait and to give his 4 bands to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll go give it and spread it amongst more people. You know what I'm saying? But hell, shouts out. You know what I'm saying? If he was a little salty, I mean, I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I seen a little clip of the review or whatnot. I don't think it was that bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was that bad. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see necessarily all the full details, but outside of this video, for real, for the most part. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. We on the road to 100K. Okay, if you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get at you on the next one, and I'm gone. TYP the name.